Thank you very much. Improvisation is something that I have been using in my life as a musician and as a teacher and as a composer for a little bit more than 30 years. I think it's a fantastic thing. And I still don't know really what it is to be honest. But if I normally, you know, like I did now, I was improvising from the inside. This is how I do it. But to look on it from the outside, it's not so easy. But I will try to speak about it. And I think it starts with an action. You have to do something. You have to jump straight into the creative act where thinking actually gets too slow and you don't have any possibilities for editing. And that can be a little scary, of course, from the beginning, but I think it's a good thing to use. I think we all can use improvisation in our daily life just to make life a little bit more fun, you know? Take a different way home from work, or just to realize that there is not only one way of doing things. We can think differently about many things and do things in many different ways. So what does it take to improvise? Well, I think it takes that you are in the present moment, that you listen, and of course it takes courage, because you have to welcome the future, you have to welcome the unknown. It's not so fun always, so easy always, but it's about that. I was lucky when I was a kid. I grew up with parents that were working as volunteers in the local jazz festival. And I was lucky to hear some fantastic music when I was a kid. I heard fantastic musicians. I met some fantastic musicians. And when I got older, I also worked in the organization a little bit. I helped receiving tickets by the entrance. I brought sandwiches to the musicians. You know, giving flowers to the singers and to the musicians after the concerts and stuff like that. But there was the music, of course. Attending these concerts, fantastic concerts, to listen and to see those luminescent, brilliant musicians playing their hearts out on stage. It was fantastic. It was so inspiring. I felt that, wow, I want to play music too. And I fell in love with this instrument, the saxophone. Not so much about the sound, actually, in the beginning, but the looks of it. It's beautiful, isn't it? Shiny, a lot of keys. And when you are 10 or 12, you don't understand all the small codes in music. But now when I'm older, I realize that the musicians, they were improvising. They were playing with music in the truest sense. And it was, for me, it was completely something magic about it. And I think I learned that maybe music can be the sound of the soul. And if it's that way, maybe improvisation is the soul of music. When I teach beginners how to improvise, I try to remember this, and I try to give my students something of that. As I said earlier, it can be scary in the beginning when you improvise. So you have to take the students by the hand and you have to take them with you into the exciting bubble of music. Because when you improvise for the first time, it's like entering a different reality. It's like getting in touch with the process of really making music out of almost any raw material at all. So when you do that for the first time, it's nice to be together with your some friends and maybe your teacher or something like that. Because it's like you entered the bubble of music and you see the colors for the first time and you feel the smell of music and you try to gain the courage to jump, to create, to do something. So I have this, maybe it's a strange idea, but I have this idea that we shall do a small improvisation together. We will make some music together. Do you want to try to do something? Okay, good, good. Okay, we will work with 3 boxes. And in box number 1, I will give you very simple, very basic tools. So in box number 1, we have the glissando tool. And a glissando, it's you take your voice and you do up and down like that. And you can choose the speed and the range. You can improvise that. I don't mind. Let's listen to that. Box number 1, glissando. And you don't have to do it simultaneously. You can do it like that. Yeah, that's better. That's great. That's wonderful. Okay, and let's move over to box number 2. This will be the sound effect nature box. We will have wind, and we do the wind like this. That's great. And we do some water, like. Wonderful. And you can choose one of them, or you can do them at the same time. That's cool also. Yeah. So that's box number 2. And then we have box number 3. In box number 3, we will be a bunch of barking dogs. You can choose your favorite dog sounds. Okay? Okay? Ready, steady, go. Perfect. So, did you realize that we were actually making music together now? And we were even improvising a little bit. It's not so hard. This can be a way in to the world of improvising. Actually, improvising has been around in all kinds of music, in all times. And sometimes when I think about improvisation, I divide it into 3 parts. And part 1 is like improvisation exists like a method in different kinds of musical dialects. You know, in jazz we have one dialect, in folk music and a different one, in Baroque music, in Indian music, or in Brazilian music. It's all different. And the second part is like music, improvisation can exist like a genre in music or in the arts. And the last part, improvisation exists also like an attitude towards life, an attitude in life that makes our life more fun. When we trust our intuition and when we jump straight into the creative act where thinking gets too slow. Thank you.